Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones.
Welcome to Game of Thrones Chat, Season 6, Episode 10, The Winds of Winter. I'm Dan and I am Unsullied. I have not read the books in the series Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin.
I'm Thomas. I'm double solid because I've read the books twice.
We will talk about anything up to this episode, including the Inside Episode show, but we will not spoil anything from the books. There is something remaining, I think. Trailers, production details, casting calls, stuff like that. Also warning, this will be our longest episode ever because this was the longest episode ever of Game of Thrones.
Maybe it was the episode where the most things happened ever.
Yes, I told you guys last time that I have only rewatched immediately 2 episodes. The Red Wedding and Watchers on the Wall. Mm-hmm. This episode I rewatched 3 times. I watched it 4 times in a row when I just had to stop everything I was doing that day and watch the episode again and again and again.
I understand, because it's awesome. And perhaps it is the best episode ever.
Yeah, I think so, but we'll have time to think about that later, because it's still
it's too
the
fresh.
latest thing.
Yeah, it's too fresh.
But it was amazing. Extremely good. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's go to King's Landing, where it all starts with we see people dressing and getting ready. Cersei, Tommen and Maggie, they have their intricate clothing that needs to be applied, and High Sparrow puts on his robe and it's done.
Yes, is that a new potato sack he has taken from somewhere? Or is it the same old one?
Same old, same old.
We also have this haunting score. This music, so different from
it's
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the music starts when people walks into the sept, and it gives you a completely different feeling, or a different feeling anyway from many other episodes.
Definitely, it is directed by the same guy that directed last episode, and
but it feels very
what
different.
A job! Yeah, very different.
Yeah, very different feeling.
That guy is skilled.
Yeah, and this music sets the tone, I think, for much of the episode. It's a very different feeling, and the special effects are not as epic, but I think there's so much more interesting things going on there compared to last episode. Of course, last episode was about the special effects, I think.
Yes.
But here it's about the stuff that's happening.
I reacted when people got dressed most about Cersei's dress.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, and I was like, is she going full Disney villain before on her own trial? That can't be a good thing.
Yeah, if you want them to be merciful, maybe that's not the dress to go for.
No, but that was never her intention.
No. So we see Loras is brought from his cell, and High Sparrow and Mace and Uncle Kevin and Maggie and lots of nobles, I guess, walks into the Great Sept here.
Yeah, apparently everybody who wants to see Cersei go down from the upper castes of King's Landing.
Mm-hmm. And then we see,
I was surprised that they didn't check where Tommen and Cersei was. That they didn't make her come there before.
Yeah, I guess they were not supposed to be there for the first part. That was more for the first part of the trial. Okay,
so their presence were optional at Lora's trial.
They must have been.
Maybe they expected Lora's trial to go on for much longer, that they didn't expect him to fully
very good point. Maybe,
capitulate.
Yeah, very good point. So maybe they weren't going to talk to Cersei at all before lunch. Or
maybe it was a full day of Lora's trial even.
Could be. But I don't think so. Because Tommen was going to go there later, I think.
Yeah, I thought there was... I read somewhere that there were 267 people in the...
That's a lot.
In the hall for the scene.
Yeah. Okay, so then we see Pycelle gets dressed, and
yes, and why is he getting dressed? He's getting dressed because he's going, but he is undressed. And why is that?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I guess he was sleeping?
No, he was having sex with this prostitute. And now we got to talk about her, because she doesn't get paid.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's the... Or
yeah, that's the great tragedy of this episode. No, it isn't. But Her name is Marae, and she has been in every season of Game of Thrones.
Every season?
Except season 1.
Oh, okay.
And she has experienced quite a bit. So now we're going to focus on the character of Marae.
Because everybody else is going to die.
Yes, she's one of the few survivors in this episode. In season 2, she was the new prostitute brought into the brothel by Littlefinger.
Oh.
She was supposed to train with the male prostitute and look aroused.
Yeah.
And also there was a customer watching her having sex with that same male prostitute.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
In season 3, she was one of the prostitutes that entertained Podrick Payne.
Okay.
And
She's been through a lot. Though.
Yes.
Good times.
The good times of Marae. In season 4, she is offered to Oberyn Martell and Ellaria Sand. And she's the one who is cheeky, the one who has attitude, the one that Ellaria likes. And later in season 4, she is having sex with Ellaria. She is also the prostitute. She is present in the brothel when the Faith Militant raids the brothel in season 5.
Okay.
And she's dragged by her hair out of the brothel.
Oh.
But apparently she survived this, and the Faith Militant let her go. So now she's back in business, but this time, bad business for Marae.
Wow. Do you keep this good track of all the prostitutes? Or
yes.
Or just the one of Game of Thrones?
Game of prostitutes. Now back to Pycelle here.
Pycelle.
Yeah. This little bird shows up and tells him something.
Yeah.
And what is the little bird telling him? Why is Pycelle following this kid?
I think the kid is saying something that will make Pycelle follow the kid. And and it could be the king wants you to meet him over here or something.
In the cellar?
Well, is Pycelle going to say, I don't like the cellar, not go there? Or
I thought he would be suspicious. The one thing we know about Pycelle, we know two things. He's faking being old, kind of, and he is extremely good at surviving. But I think falling for this trap is not very clever.
So he should have just ran?
He could just have proceeded to the trial and get blown up.
Yeah, so he knew he was dead there anyway, right?
So is this a plan of Qyburn's?
I think it's a plan of... it's probably Cersei and Qyburn. Maybe it's more Qyburn than Cersei. No,
yeah, because if Cersei wanted him dead, she could just let him go to the trial, because he appears to be on the way to the trial, right?
Yeah, or just to give him to the mountain.
Yeah. Maybe this is Qyburn's personal thing.
Although Qyburn could give him to the mountain as well, but it seems more Qyburn than...
Because Qyburn has this conflict with Pycelle. That Pycelle has always been very anti-Qyburn.
Yes, that's
so
true.
I think this is just Qyburn doing things.
Yeah, okay, so then I guess... Well, Qyburn, when we have the next scene with Pycelle then, where Qyburn is like apologetic about killing Pycelle.
Yes.
So I don't know if... It doesn't seem that hateful, or maybe he's just trying to apologize beforehand for what's going to happen to him.
Yeah, it was a very interesting thing to say to someone you're going to murder.
Yeah.
Like, I bear you no ill will. I don't believe you.
And then we see all the little birds. They have knives and they kill him. We didn't know they were going to do that stuff. Before we just thought they were spies, right?
Yeah, they are going to the next level.
Yeah, they have leveled up.
Qyburn's candy makes them aggressive.
So rip Pycelle then.
Yeah, that's a surprising end for a character whose biggest trait were survival. Right, he was there before the Mad King even started his reign.
Yeah.
And he's been there forever, but
not more.
With him gone, all the original small council is out.
So then we continue with the trial. Loras is led into the sept, and he confesses to everything: sodomy, perjury, depravity, dishonesty, arrogance, profligacy. What's that? Profligacy.
Reckless extravagance. Reckless extravagance.
Yeah, that's.
That's when you are spending so much money that you are in danger.
Yeah, reckless. I mean, blatant extravagance. That I can understand. Reckless. That seems dangerous. Yeah.
I think I have an example.
Yeah.
It's Mark Antony, who was lieutenant to Julius Caesar at the time, and Julius Caesar left him in charge of Rome.
When he went to Egypt?
Yes. And then Mark Antony figured that he should have an extravagant way to get around in Rome. So he had a chariot drawn by lions.
That seems dangerous.
That's expensive and reckless.
Yeah. Well, he survived it. I guess he wasn't reckless enough, but it seems pretty reckless.
Yeah, Loras also survived his profligacy. And he even managed to drag the good name of Renly Baratheon in the dirt.
Yeah, I guess it was even worse that he was doing the sodomy thing with Renly, the traitor.
Yes.
So then he renounces all his titles and his name, and he promises to have no wife and kids, just serve the gods.
Isn't this contrary to what Marjorie wants here? She seems to be expecting this.
Yeah, I think she has considered that this is going to have to happen, and then I think that she's going to let this all play out, and then she's going to swoop in later and try to...
And redeem him in some way.
Deprogram him and...
Give him a new forehead.
Yeah, or I mean, he can announce his name, but his father can always say, "Oh, you're my son again." And I mean, if you can legitimize a bastard, you can legitimize somebody who has done that, right?
Okay, so this is all according to the Tyrell plan.
Maybe even Mace is thinking the same thing, but then when he sees his son being carved up there in the head, he reacts.
Oh, poor Lord Mace.
So he does not approve. And at this time, we cut back to the Red Keep, and we see Tommen is about to leave for the trial.
Yes, we also see this Valet guy for the second time, who comes into Tommen's room and says stuff. We've never seen him before, I don't remember him.
Yeah, so finally someone has assigned a valet to Tommen.
Yes.
So the mountain stops him from going.
Yeah, and when the mountain stops you are stopped.
And that's where we realize, okay, something is afoot there. We kind of get the feeling that something's going on with Pycelle before, when he gets the message.
Yes.
But now when Mountain is stopping Tommen, we're like, oh, okay, this
is not good.
This is a change in the plans for the High Sparrow anyway.
Oh, yes.
And then we go back to the set, and Maggie is berating the High Sparrow. She wasn't expecting that treatment exactly for Loras.
The carving of the seven-pointed star in Loras' forehead. That seems to be the way they do it, but it seems very unhygienic and
absolutely
improvised.
But they realized that Cersei is absent. So maybe she was expected to be there at the beginning, but they figured, she'll be there later.
Yeah, and she has refused to come before, so that seems to be the number one thing you should plan for, that she will not be there. But
she's really held in a holding cell somewhere with Loras.
He should never have let her go.
Yeah. So they send Lancel to fetch her.
Yes.
But Lancel is distracted.
Oh yes, he's like, oh, little kid, I just learned that you should follow little kids.
A little kid that is running and looking behind himself, trying to make him follow him, which it looks like anyway.
Yeah. That's kind of suspicious. You better follow that kid.
So, I mean, I think what most people thought at that point is it's kind of trap. It's some kind of trap.
Yes.
But, then when he follows the kid, he goes down into the dungeon and the kid stabs him. And then he discovers there's wildfire.
Yes, and so these are the wildfire stock that the Mad King put there.
Yeah, I think so.
Some of that wildfire was used in the Battle of the Blackwater. I kind of got the impression that was all the wildfire. Or is this a new wildfire that Cersei continued to produce?
I don't think that I think it's old wildfire. But it could also be that Tyrion found... Are you sure that this is the very cache that Tyrion found?
Maybe there are like limitless caches of wildfire under King's Landing.
Well, that's what Jaime says.
Yeah. So, but you reach this wildfire without passing through any locked door. So you would imagine that the little birds and the poor people of King's Landing had sort of explored these catacombs.
Yeah.
So
there was a door somewhere and you had to crawl through something. So the door was unlocked at least, and I think Yeah.
There are just endless catacombs under King's Landing.
Let's not be too picky. I mean, the whole point of leading Lancel down there is just so we can see him seeing the wildfire.
Yes, because the child is behaving without any reason.
Yeah, there's no reason
the child want.
Yeah, so this is just dramatic effect.
Yeah, and Lancel follows this suspicious kid instead of doing his mission, instead of fetching Cersei. And he just tells the other sparrows to fetch some more guys.
Yeah. 7 more guys.
But it doesn't even... probably... Hey, we're not 7.
Yeah. Or maybe 7 times 7.
But, Lancel doesn't make sense here, but it turns out pretty cool anyway.
Yeah, it turns out cool, and then it becomes really hot.
Oh, yes. Very, very hot.
Yeah, but Maggie gets a bad feeling. Her spider senses are indicating that something is bad, something is going awry, and she's trying to leave, but she's stopped, and everybody's stopped
because the rule is that nobody leaves during the trial.
Yeah,
for some reason.
And then it's like the High Sparrow is beginning to consider. Wait a minute, maybe there's something I haven't thought of, and then it's liquefied.
I love his acting here.
Yeah.
He says so much without saying anything. Just his face moving was one of the very best parts of the episode, I think. His expression. Then he goes up in green flame.
That's even better.
Yeah. And he's not alone, because this is 9/11 for the Sept of Baelor.
Yeah, Queen Marjorie dies, and her father Mace, and her brother Loras. Uncle Kevin dies.
Yes.
The High Sparrow, and lots of extra nobles and sparrows.
That's a lot of named characters, a lot of main characters.
Yeah. I really thought that we would see more of Maggie.
Yeah, I thought that when she started to think that something was wrong, that she was going to succeed in leaving.
Yeah.
That she would survive, but apparently she did not.
Nope. Not at all. So
and I did like the explosion and that bell.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it landed just on the path of the Walk of Atonement. She was walking past that point in the Walk of Atonement. So.
But I was then thinking, so is the whole town going to blow up now? We've been speculating about this before.
Yes.
She just tries to blow up the Sept, and then everything blows up. But that didn't happen. And also, I thought anyway that she was going to blow up Tommen as well. But I really liked that she didn't, that she actually had a plan for keeping Tommen back at Red Keep.
Yes, but then she kind of gets more interested in revenge than keeping Tommen safe.
Yeah, instead of keeping him, just sitting with him and trying to calm him down, she goes down to wineboard that Septa and Ella.
Serious wineboarding.
Yeah, Elle talks about, I like though that she confess that you felt good torturing me, basically.
Amazing speech.
Yeah, the whole I did this because I liked him. I fucked my brother because I liked him.
It felt good. It felt good.
It felt good.
Even confessing feels good under the right circumstances.
Yes, but being manhandled by the mountain, I don't think that feels very good.
I am surprised that this was Cersei's #1 priority after the successful coup and the blowing up the Sept of Baelor.
I think it plays very well into her character.
Yeah, it does. Her situation then, after the Sept has blown up.
Yeah.
Everybody in the whole city, there's 500,000 people still in the city. Or maybe 10,000 died from the explosion, if we count high. Everybody should blame her. They knew what was going on.
Yeah.
There should be riots. The popular queen is dead. The High Septon is dead. On Cersei's side is just the mountain Qyburn and Qyburn's little birds.
Yeah.
But who else is on Cersei's side in the city?
Well, first off, they don't know exactly what happened.
No.
They don't even know who's dead and who's alive.
That's true.
And the leaders, basically all the leaders are there, so there's nobody to lead them to do anything. But after a while, they will figure, there's something going wrong here. So at that point, they have to fear Cersei because they will not love her. So she has to rule through fear.
And apparently the Kingsguard is on her side. as we learn later in the episode.
Yeah.
But I'm very surprised that anybody is on her side now, because the Lannister soldiers are with Jaime, most of them. Some probably remain in the city.
Yeah.
And the Tyrell soldiers are obviously not on her side, if
No.
some are still in the city, which they probably are.
Yeah.
So this, I would have liked to see the aftermath of the explosion, like some rescue work, stuff like that. And I expected King's Landing to end there, and next episode to start with that.
Oh, okay.
But this was not the end of King's Landing for this episode.
No, it goes on then. We have the next scene where Tommen checks out.
Do we leave Septonella down there with the mountain?
Oh, you want to talk more
commenting
about
further on that?
You want to talk more about that?
I don't know if I want to talk more about that.
Does she want to talk more about that?
Apparently, Lena Headey said that this scene was way cut. That it was.
So was Septonella.
Yeah, it was a lot more distasteful than this.
Okay.
And that they probably cut it because of things that happened in last season.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the mountain is up to his old work, it seems,
Yes.
despite being dead.
Yeah. Or undead.
Yeah. So okay, let's leave her down there. Do you think it was a fitting punishment for Septonella?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Yeah, a little bit over the top, perhaps.
Well, I think that she enjoyed it, tormenting Cersei.
Oh, she did. And I think Cersei enjoys tormenting her. But she leaves.
But I still don't think that anybody... I don't think she should be tortured anyway.
Why do you think Cersei leaves so early?
Oh, she's gonna save Tommen. No, I don't...
Yeah, she's probably going to make sure that Tommen is safe.
What do you
because
mean? Yeah.
He's still in his room, and what could possibly happen?
Left early. Well, she only leaves early if you cut the scene. So
True.
she had to leave early so that we could see other things happen.
So now it's time for Tommen to adjust to this new situation and take charge of King's Landing.
Or not.
Well, he looks a bit at the explosion, and then the camera remains on the explosion,
Yeah.
and you feel like, oh, they really dwell on this explosion, and then, woo!
He puts down his crown, jumps out the window.
Yeah, Tommen exits the story.
And as much as I hate anybody committing suicide, it was kind of a... I mean, it was kind of a beautiful scene anyway. It was so very well done,
Yes.
at least. It was a very powerful scene, I'd say.
Do you think the suicide was believable?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. It's Tommen was weak, and now his whole world is destroyed. His beautiful wife is gone. His mother is evil incarnate.
Yeah. It was believable, but I was surprised because I thought that he was going to get burned with all the other people at the Great Sept. And then he survived. I'm like, wow, they surprised me. And then he jumps out the window. I'm like, wow, they surprised me again.
Yes. Yeah.
Well done, Game of Thrones.
I was quite surprised. And so ends the reign of the longest reigning king in Game of Thrones. In season 4, episode...
If we count episodes. Okay.
Yes. Season 4, episode 5, first of his name, Tommen takes the crown and rules Westeros happily for 26 episodes. Which is about two or three episodes more than Joffrey.
But Joffrey had all of season 2 and season
Joffrey
3.
takes the crown in episode 7 or 8 of season 1.
Okay.
And then dies in episode 2 of season 4. So he has at most 25.
Feels longer, but okay.
It felt a lot longer. I was surprised at this. But Tommen has reigned for 26 episodes.
Well, Joffrey made a much more of an impression.
Oh, yes.
And who do you think was the better king?
Tommen, because he was not actively bad. He was bad because he didn't do things, but Joffrey only did bad things, so...
Yeah, but history often shows that the proactive king is more popular. It's more popular by the history writers.
I think people definitely missed Joffrey during the reign of King Tommen.
Yeah, like look at Edward Longshanks and his son, Edward I and Edward II.
Yep.
Edward II was probably a much nicer guy, but Edward I is hailed as a much more powerful king.
Because he did stuff.
Yeah, he did stuff. He killed Braveheart and so on.
Yeah, I think nobody doubts that Joffrey was more powerful than Tommen.
Yeah.
But now the crown will be in safe hands.
So Cersei orders Tommen burned, so at least... Oh, so she did get to burn him.
Yes!
So, triple triple thing there. Okay, so he's burned, his ashes is scattered in the sept. And it looks like she's not even surprised when she finds Tommen is dead. She's like, yeah, I was expecting that.
I interpreted it as her last humanity leaving her, pretty much, that she was now turning totally dark.
But she put on the dark clothes before Tommen died.
Oh, yes, she did, but that was just what
okay.
she wanted to look like. But now she turned truly dark. That, as Jaime said, that or as we know from all the series, that her love for her children were her only redeeming feature.
Yeah.
And now that is gone, so I think she will be the Mad Queen, pretty much.
She just has to put on a helmet to become Darth Cersei.
Oh, yes.
Or Cersei Vader. So then the final thing we see from King's Landing is the crowning ceremony.
And that was a huge surprise for me. I still thought that Cersei would die in this very episode.
Yeah.
But no, she manages to seize power.
Yeah, it's surprise. I'm surprised too at that. And I thought somebody said that Cersei could be the next queen. I'm like, she can't be the queen. She's going to inherit Tommen backwards?
Nobody likes her, so I'm very surprised at this.
And she had lots of nobles in the throne room there.
I think she made 300 people nobles, that there were power vacuum from all the dead nobles there. You get to be the nobles if you recognize me as your queen. Let's do this.
Yeah.
There is the strange thing in the books that Cersei is actually the heir. If you track the family trees, the Baratheon family tree.
The Baratheon family tree?
Yes. You end up with some remote ancestor spawning into the Lannister tree.
Okay, if you go way back, you can find...
Yes.
Yeah, well,
so the closest living person to Robert Baratheon at this point is, if you don't count Gendry, is Cersei. Okay. And Jaime then, of course, but Jaime is not... So Jaime is another candidate, but he won't contest Cersei.
Well, if you go back into the Baratheon family tree, you find Targaryens.
Yeah.
So then...
I think somebody did this math and found that Cersei is actually the heir, strangely enough. And I think this will come up in the next episode, so now I probably spoiled something. Oh, damn it.
Well, I don't think she cares about that.
No, I don't.
She's going to inherit it backwards from Tommen.
And I don't think anyone else outside King's Landing cares about it either. And I think her position is extremely precarious.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also she's calling herself Cersei of House Lannister. And by calling herself Cersei of House Lannister, it's going to be hard for her to get the support from the Stormlands.
Oh, yes.
Because they follow Baratheon. And the Riverlands, we're going to see later in the episode that the Riverlands are kind of chaotic right now.
Yeah.
She might get the Lannister support if Jaime follows her. But he's probably... The people in the Westerlands is probably going to look to follow Jaime. So he could make them follow her.
Well, they can't follow Kevin.
No. But they can't follow Lancel either, so... Yeah, so... And the city is like, she has Qyburn. He can like kill people to make them fear her, but her power base is very unstable. I think.
Yeah, where's the gold cloaks and there are armed men in the city and they don't oppose this.
Well, maybe she just pays the gold cloaks and they follow her until further notice.
I'm surprised that the Kingsguard just choose Cersei immediately. They must be a lot of new Kingsguards in the Kingsguard. They are 7 in the scene.
That's the first time in a while that all 7 has been at the same time. I guess Jaime is no longer Kingsguard then.
They have replaced Jaime, they replaced Meryn Trant.
Loras. No, wait, Loras wasn't.
No, he wasn't. But so the Kingsguard is just...
It was in the books.
Who is the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard? Is it the Mountain? Okay, our boss doesn't say anything and...
He'll have to write out all his orders.
We better follow Cersei. That seems to make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm surprised at this. Very surprised at her coronation.
Yeah, me too. And maybe everybody is.
Jaime is surprised.
Yes.
Jaime comes in like, where is Tommen?
I think
what's going on?
I think Jaime being king would have been made a lot more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we don't get the reaction. We just see Jaime looking at her.
Yeah. Maybe the first thing next season is him berating her. What are you thinking? It's not going to work.
Or maybe the first thing next season is him killing her.
Yeah, strangling her.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But we didn't get the burn them all scene that
No.
I expected.
But she did burn most of them.
Yes, quite efficiently.
Okay.
So where was Jaime?
He was at the Twins. He was at the party for the Freys and the Lannisters. He was celebrating their alliance.
Yeah, nice to have a party when you win. So
Yeah, and we see the girls like Bran, but they like Jaime more.
yeah, especially that first girl that we later learn is not what she seems.
A girl likes Jaime.
A girl likes Jaime. Did she intend to kill him?
I think, I think she was intending to kill him, but then she went the other. She couldn't kill everybody at the same time.
No, better kill one at a time.
Yeah, but she prioritizes Walder Frey.
Yeah.
So then we see the Lord Walder Frey. He's happy about the events, and we're winning. Who cares? And Jaime's like, oh, you suck.
I think if we go back to the battle for Jaime's soul here, he turned very dark with Edmure, and you could see him joining Cersei if he is really the person he described to Edmure.
Yeah.
But I think this conversation is a lot about Jaime, and that Jaime is seeing himself.
Yeah.
And that if I continue on this path, I will become this guy, and I definitely don't want to be like Walder Frey.
How can you be a good person if you do bad things?
That's true.
Yeah.
But I love this conversation.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then we have Walder Frey is having his sons for dinner.
Did you get the impression that Jaime just left the party there? That he was so bummed by the discussion with Walder Frey that he just, I'm out of here.
He was going to look for some serving girl. Some really blonde serving girl.
Yeah, but apparently he just left right then and there because he seems to have no knowledge of Walder Frey's death.
Well, he could have left the next morning or something. Or we don't know. The next.
We're not told.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the next thing when Walder Frey is having his sons for dinner, we don't know how much time has passed.
No, that's true. That's very true for this whole episode.
Yes.
And the season.
So he thinks he's just having a regular meat pie, but this has a special ingredients.
Yeah.
It's hate.
It's definitely hate.
Yeah. Because Arya has baked his sons into a meat pie.
She has.
That's what it looked. That's what we all infer anyway.
Yeah, so she arrived here, worked as a serving girl, killed 2 Frey men, occupied the kitchen, baked this pie, and then managed to be the serving girl again for Lord Walder Frey, who was all alone.
And he lifts on the lid of the pie. And what does he see there? Is it a finger or a toe or?
I think it's a finger, but the one thing I noticed was that a big chunk of this pie is already gone. Somebody ate that. Who ate that?
Who would eat? Oh, maybe his taster. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't notice that, but that's a good point.
So I think Arya's plan is really, really bad. This could go wrong in so many ways.
Yeah.
And the whole thing felt rushed. I wish we would have had more time to savor the death of Walder Frey.
Yeah.
Because it is such an epic event.
Yeah.
And it felt so rushed, and it felt like the bad things from Bravos had leaked into Westeros with Arya here. That the plot just moves however Arya wants it. She has the power of script writing.
So you think if she could take 12 hours to kill his sons and bake pies of them, she could take a few minutes to torture him before he kills him?
Yeah, and teleport to the twins. And she's just...
But the teleporting I'm okay.
Where does the face come from?
Yeah.
Did she kill this girl and take her face? Does she even know how to do that?
Maybe
Did she just steal a couple of faces from... when Jack and Akara was smiling, she was just, I'm grabbing these faces.
Either one is possible. And as for the teleporting... it could have been that a lot of time passed between last time we saw her and now. So
it should have.
Yeah, if we're gonna nitpick on every little detail,
that's what we do, right?
Well, as long as there's some way to explain it away.
Are you telling me that the death of Walder Frey forgives everything? You just wanted to see Walder Frey die.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Arya about a girl about this. because she started working as this fast food joint.
Oh.
Yeah, so I went there and I ordered a meat pie. You know what she said?
No idea.
You want phrase with that?
Oh God. Okay, I'm stunned.
That's about as bad as it gets.
I'm
on her list now. I'm on your list.
Yeah, you're on my list. Okay, so Walder Frey is dead, and from inside the episode you can learn that we should now fear for Arya's mental health, as she is apparently quite cruel, but she has been a nutcase since season 2, perhaps.
Yeah.
So
was she ever normal?
I think she has been very cruel from the beginning, even.
Are we talking about Arya or the waif now?
I think we can discount the possibility of her being the waif after this scene. So the waif is dead and buried, and all her amazing assassin powers didn't help her when the light went out.
I would have loved for the waif to be a waiting girl. A girl that's serving Walder Frey pie.
Oh yes.
That would have been pretty cool. Of course, then that would have been too obvious. But it would also been really funny. Like, what are the waif? What's the waif doing there?
Yeah, so it appears that somebody bought Walder Frey's death from the Faceless.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking that Arya killed the waif and took her face.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
walking around with the waif's face.
Yeah, but she left that on the wall. That's what we are supposed to
Yeah, but it's more fun if she brings it along.
Yeah.
Whenever we see the waif, like, okay, it's Arya, okay.
That would have been interesting.
You could have the waif as an extra in lots of scenes.
But I still felt that all the hate we had for Walder Frey and everything he did, that he got away too easy here. Just eating his sons and getting his throat cut. But it's at least satisfying to see him die.
Maybe the pie was really disgusting.
It's like this season we have received so much that we wanted.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And this episode in particular.
Yeah. We got everything in this episode. Just Christmas.
So good work, Arya.
Christmas, yeah. So we move on then to Old Town.
What a spectacular city.
Sam and Gilly arrives there and they look at the high tower.
Yeah, and decide to leave their wagon like 4 kilometers outside the city just to get this spectacular view.
Yeah, it was a strange scene, and I figured, but they're just doing this for dramatic effect. They could show Old Town without the people in the foreground, but that isn't as good a shot. So they had them walk. They should have jumped out of the wagon without their stuff. Just like, this is a good place to look at Old Town. You know?
Yeah, let's take a selfie.
Yeah, let's take a selfie. Yeah, and then jump back into the wagon. But they take the stuff with them. So.
And then they have to walk for.
Yeah. At least they were faster than his father because his father hasn't caught up with him yet.
I noted on the second watching that Old Town was not in the opening credits.
True.
But you could argue then that the opening credits are in Old Town. But we'll come back to that when we get to the library.
Okay.
We see all these white ravens leaving the tower.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
this scene. And the white ravens are apparently the Maester's way of announcing a new season. Mm-hmm. And we saw that.
Well, at least very special messages, yeah.
Yeah, and we saw that in season 2. There was a white raven announcing the beginning of autumn.
Yeah.
Which was very easy to miss. I missed it. I just heard about it and checked it. So,
yeah. But now we see them all leaving, and it looks like the Citadel is then the big tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of a book change, but let's say that the big tower then is the Citadel.
Yeah, I almost felt that the library was in the big tower, as it was so enormous.
Well, if all the birds are leaving from the big tower and that's the Citadel and the library, yeah, okay, let's go for that.
Okay, but impressive building.
Impressive building.
Higher than the wall, I hear.
Yeah, well, so is the Great Pyramid in Marine.
Oh, how high is the Great Pyramid?
They said that it was 800 feet. Or Tyrion said it was 800 feet.
Okay, and the tower is also 800 feet, right?
And the wall is 700.
So the wall is like the third biggest building.
Well...
Oh, not in mass, but...
Yeah.
Or maybe the pyramid has more mass.
Than the wall?
Yeah, the pyramid is pretty huge.
The wall is so long, it's insane. It's like 1,000
So the wall wins in mass, but it's only third in height.
Yeah, but the wall is much, much cooler.
We are getting distracted from Sam, because it's so easy to get distracted from Sam.
Yeah, but he's trying to distract the receptionist, but the receptionists are not very service-minded.
No, he is not. This is where all the people that don't like people go. And he's very, very focused on his work.
Yeah, it's like, well, Sir Mormont is the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
I love the fact that he had like the big book of facts on his table. It's like, oh, who is the commander of the Night's Watch? I just checked the big book of facts.
Yeah, it's like, no, okay, so he's dead. Okay, scratch his name here.
So is it a single copy of the big book of facts?
Yeah, it's a dramatic effect.
Yeah, they keep it there at the reception.
Well, maybe it's like when people show up, they have to say from what maester they come or something. So maybe it's a list of all the lords and all the maesters all over.
Oh, that would make sense.
Because there is a reception at least.
So what's Sam's plan here for the sword, which he doesn't have when he comes up to the reception?
Oh, he lost it.
Maybe
he sold it.
And for his family.
Well, he sells the sword, and then he can put up Sam and Gilly somewhere in the town while he's reading books.
That would make sense, though, actually, because it felt so cruel leaving them there.
Yeah. But children, no women or children allowed in the library.
Of course not. How would that look if women and children were in the library?
So while in the west of Westeros, women are doing it for themselves. In Old Town, no, it's a man's world.
Yes. And then we have this amazing shot of the library.
So many books. And did you see that all the books looked like they were chained to the shelves?
Yes, can't trust the maesters.
So you have to stand there and read the books.
That maybe the chains are very long. Maybe they. No, that seems
really
strange.
messy.
Yes.
Or maybe there are locks that you can unlock it if you have the right key or something.
That was a lot of security in that library. I like it.
Yeah, but having to stand there and read seems very awkward.
I do write fantasy novels. They are only available in Swedish, though, so you cannot read them.
I can.
Yes, and in the first of them, there is a very epic library that I was thinking of my own book when I watched this, and I was this was what I should have envisioned. So my library was not as epic as this one. But you see these astrolabes. Is that a word?
Astrolabes?
The things that are the sun in the intro are the source of light in the library.
Oh, okay.
Right? So maybe the whole opening sequence is just something that exists in this library. That they have this map with moving pieces and stuff that some maester made. Yeah, so that's my reference to Old Town in the opening sequence. Did you also notice in the opening sequence that the Stark banner was back at Winterfell?
I noticed that twins were there, but no, I didn't notice that.
No, the wolf was back.
The wolf is back.
Yes,
the white wolf,
making Winterfell great again.
Yeah, let's talk about the north then.
All right, to the north.
And first we see Davos is finally putting 2 and 6 together, and she wants Melisandre dead.
Yeah, and he's really angry. I was quite impressed at the acting here. Yeah. I felt that Mr. Cunningham had really lost the child here.
Yeah, he should have figured it out about a season ago, but whatever, now he's angry.
Well, the stag was like the final proof.
The asbestos stag that he found in the pyre?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
And now she admits to it.
So Jon owes her his life, but she also killed a child.
So exile.
So exile then seems like a compromise. Well, but Davos, he delivers such good quotes, or at least he says, like if your god commands you to burn a child, it's an evil god.
Yes.
It's a very good point there.
Davos is fantastic in this scene.
Yeah. Well, Melisandre is good too, but Davos is just an awesome guy to watch.
Yeah, I was thinking that at this point it is quite evident to Jon Snow in particular that the Lord of Light has power, and that he intends to use that power against the White Walkers. So losing his one connection to the Lord of Light seems bad, and I was half expecting him to order her to find another priest, to find another red priest for him.
Yeah,
and it's now very convenient that Thoros of Myr is on the way north. But of course, it's the Lord of Light that wills it, so he knew this, and he was sending Thoros of Myr instead.
Well, I think Jon is like, I have to have some kind of compromise here. I can't kill her, I might need her, but I can't let her stay also. then Davos will be sad.
True.
So I don't think you've seen the last of her anyway.
And no, that would be
surprising.
That would be surprising. I feared for her life in this episode, but she got away quite cheap, I think.
Yeah, compared to Shireen.
So she will be back because she only cares about Jon Snow at this point, so she won't go far.
Yeah. And then we hear that the White Raven has arrived, so winter has come. Ned Stark was right.
Yeah, we have this Sansa and Jon scene.
So Sansa apologizes to Jon for not telling him that the Knights of the Vale was on the road.
She does, and I'm glad they addressed this at least.
Yes, but who will apologize to me?
I think this was your apology. You're not getting a better one.
I think this is about it. This is what... I'm not going to get any more than this. I would like more. I guess I'll have to take it. I'm just going to pout for a season.
I thought they would just ignore this, so I was very happy that they at least talked about it.
At least they talked about it. He still is... I mean, if she had been stupid... She has been stupid before, this Sansa girl. But as long as she's acting with some kind of rationale, even if you're behaving stupid, as long as you're some kind of rationale behind your decisions, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
This was just completely irrational, so...
It was, and a lot of people are defending her on the internet, which is interesting. But I think this...
That's a very nice word to use on that. Interesting. I have much worse words.
I think this scene was good anyway, because we saw that they now get closer to each other. Mm. And that we should trust each other, etc. And I felt a weird tone in the scene, that it was like... They were so close. Are they going to kiss? What is this turning into?
No, they can't kiss. They're siblings.
No, but they aren't, right?
They are siblings so far. Maybe that will change in the future.
Maybe that will change very soon. I love the reference to Ned Stark. Father always promised.
Father always promised, yeah. Although I'm not sure that that's what it meant. I mean, originally, I think that they're saying meant something else. But because before they were lords of the North, and before they were even kings in the North, they were kings of winter, and they were only kings of part of the North, but they were kings of Winterfell, and so saying winter is coming is like saying Boltons are coming, or Freys are coming, or Manderleys are coming.
So they won't change their words to winter is here.
No, it's more like we are here now, like we are strong, we are coming.
Okay.
But it has come to mean that winter is coming.
Yes.
That the actual season is coming.
Okay, and then Sansa goes to the Godswood for some reason.
Yeah, she used to go there to pray, I guess, but seems like she's not praying anymore.
No, she just goes to the Godswood because she wanted to see it one more time.
And who shows up there? Littlefinger.
Oh, yes.
And he tells her something that... He says to her that all he does for her and him so that he can rule with her by his side.
Yeah, his actual line is right out of a management handbook. It's like, if you want to focus on your goals, just close your eyes and think about every decision, like, will this lead to my goal? And that's exactly what he's doing.
That's what it says it's doing anyway.
Yes.
Do you believe
and she seemed very inserted into that goal. It was like, me on the Iron Throne, and you beside me.
Did you buy it? Or do you think it's wrong or right? Or truthfully?
I think I buy it. He wants to be on the Iron Throne. I can buy that. But and he seems to project his feelings towards Catelyn onto her.
Well, I think... Why tell the truth when a perfectly good lie will suffice?
Yes.
But I don't think that... So I don't think that Littlefinger is ever telling the whole truth.
No.
But I think he always inserts some truth into his lies.
Yes.
So that there's something that you can actually believe in. So I think that he wants to sit on the Iron Throne. I think he's a lot more flexible about Sansa. I do think that he would like her, but... the fact that he's saying this to her means that's not what he wants.
Yeah, I think he wants to be on the Iron Throne, and right now it would be pretty good to have Sansa by his side, because then the North would be on his side, etc.
At least, yeah, But it makes almost too much sense because Littlefinger always have 14 aces up his sleeve. Or maybe I'm overestimating Littlefinger. From the books, he looks more in control of things than he does in the TV series.
Yeah, I think he's not in control in this episode. He fails with Sansa.
Yeah.
And during the next scene, he doesn't do anything. So he doesn't use his numerical advantage here in any way. He doesn't gain anything from his rescuing of Winterfell.
Well,
and nothing immediately, maybe for the long term. But
like, is this following his plans or not? If you go back and look at he gave her to Ramsay Snow.
Yes.
And he claims, he didn't know what kind of man Ramsay was. Some people believe that he didn't know, that was badly informed. I can't believe that he's that badly informed about him. He must have been able to talk to somebody about him.
But even if he was informed or not informed, the point of that was to make himself Warden of the North.
Yeah.
To state to Cersei that the Boltons had betrayed her, that he was going north to reclaim the North for Cersei. Mm-hmm. And then he would be the Warden of the North, but he's nowhere close to being the Warden of the North. And he makes this like very lame attempt at sowing some distrust for Jon in Sansa.
Yeah.
But events just happen and he seems to lose control in this episode.
It does look that way, and it doesn't look very happy later in the King of the North scene, but...
and I have a hard time seeing where he goes from here, so I really hope he is in control still, and that this is all part of his plan, and we will be stunned by...
Yeah.
Not only by his travel speed, but by by the exactness of his plans.
Else I will be disappointed.
He'll probably go to Marine to take over in the next episode.
Yeah.
Only take him an hour or so.
Yeah, he always knows when to turn cloak, I think.
Oh, yes.
So then we have a scene beyond the wall where Benjen and Mera and Bran are hanging out. Or Benjen is actually leaving Bran and Mera.
Yes, and the first thing I thought was that, why is he leaving them here? We can't even see the wall.
But we can see the wall.
It was the wall there?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Well, the wall was behind the trees. You could see the wall if you looked really carefully.
Oh, damn. Okay. I stand corrected. But then I realized that this is the same weirwood tree where Jon swore his oath. Mm-hmm. And that was some distance away from the wall. So, and Bran obviously wanted to go to a weirwood tree.
Maybe but then I thought, what's going to happen here? Okay, so he's going to go online and see some stuff.
Yes, he needs his fix.
And then
he's the three-eyed raven. He needs to check out visions.
And then he's going to crawl to the wall.
Then Mera has a problem. Like
she has no sled. Benjen takes his horse with him.
Yeah, I was very surprised at that. It was like, hello, are you taking the horse?
Yeah, I think he should have taken him like close to the wall so that they could see him from the wall and go out there and fetch him.
Maybe Benjen can't get any closer to the wall than this.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe also the Night's Watch visit the weirwood periodically to pray or something.
Yeah, like the three guys remaining at the wall.
Yeah, but there's so few of them, and do they really want to go north of the wall to the Godswood? Because there might be walkers there, so...
I would be like, we go pray tomorrow instead? Today maybe we do something else?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what he's going to do after he's been surfing the weirwood net there. But we do see him go online.
Yeah, and I was extremely happy about this, because we needed to finish the Tower of Joy.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting this to happen.
Yes, and if they hadn't addressed the Tower of Joy in this episode, I would have been upset. But here it is, in all its glory.
And we see Ned run up the stairs and run into a room where he finds his sister.
Yeah, where was Howland Reed? Wasn't he standing?
He was probably standing over the dead body of Sir Arthur Dayne.
Yeah, because when Ned looked back, I expected to see Howland Reed.
Yeah,
but
he was hiding.
Yeah, he was hiding with the body of Arthur Dayne. Oh, nobody must know that Arthur Dayne is dead.
Well, maybe he was trying to tend to their wounded, although they were...
Or himself. He was wounded.
Oh, he was wounded also, yeah. Oh. They had 4 more friends, and they all died, but maybe they still lived at that point.
I was very disappointed that Howland Reed did not follow him up the stairs.
Okay.
Because I wanted Howland Reed in the room.
No, instead you just get Ned Stark and Lyanna Stark and some servants.
Yes.
And she is lying there in the pool of her own blood.
Yes, she has had very, very birth gone bad.
Yeah, birth gone bad. So she is dying in childbed there.
Yes.
And what does she tell Ned? Well, she whispers some stuff to her.
Yeah, a lot of it we can't hear.
But what we can hear is that she's telling him, promise me, Ned.
Yes, and she says something like Robert would kill him.
Robert would kill him, and then promise me, Ned, promise me. And this is something that we've been wondering for a long time. What? Because this is so much earlier in the books. Like, promise me what?
Yeah, so...
To keep the baby safe?
We see this baby then, and so this, I think, confirms the L plus R equals J, that this is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna.
Well, the way that it cuts from that to Jon Snow means that has to be Jon Snow.
Yes, so it's Jon Snow, and he's Lyanna's and Rhaegar's child.
The Crown Prince Rhaegar, the son of the Mad King.
Yes, meaning that this child is the Crown Prince of the Targaryen line.
If they were married.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that very soon. So this child would be immediately killed by Robert, who really liked killing Targaryens.
Yeah.
So the child must be kept safe. So Ned makes the promise to claim this baby as his.
Yeah, as his bastard.
Yes.
And it all comes together here. From season 1, this is also perfect because everybody was always thinking, how could Ned Stark go whoring with get the bastard?
Yes.
He was so honorable, and he did this right after he was married.
So the only thing that would make him lie to his wife was a promise to his dying sister.
And that's Ned Stark.
That's Ned Stark. He would keep this promise to Lyanna.
Yeah, but then people.
He never said that he promised her.
No, but
which I expected.
It was a dying wish.
Yeah,
and also like he never told Jon Snow, and then at the beginning of season 1 when they separate and Ned Stark goes south to King's Landing and Jon Snow goes north to the Wall, and Jon Snow is begging him to tell him anything about his mother.
Yes.
And Ned Stark is like, no, next time. I'll tell you next time. And we feel you could when you saw it then, and then when Ned Stark died, you felt kind of it's kind of cheesy. It's so typical that I'll tell you later, then he died.
Oh yes.
But he had a very good reason not to tell Jon Snow at that point.
What was that reason?
Because Jon Snow is going north to the Wall to become part of the Night's Watch.
Yes.
And as soon as he's part of the Night's Watch, he is no longer under the jurisdiction of Westeros.
Oh.
So that means that King Robert can't touch him. Because he can never become king. You can't desert. Anybody who deserts Night's Watch is immediately executed.
Yes.
So he can't become king because he's removed from the game.
Yeah, sworn to take no crown.
Yeah, no children and no crown. And we also have another example of this also, Master Aemon. Master Aemon is also Targaryen.
Yeah, but he was safe at the Wall.
Yeah, he was safe, but King Robert should have killed him also to be safe. But no, he was at the Wall, so that's also why Ned Stark wants Jon Snow to become part of Night's Watch, because he thinks that's a good out for him.
Very good out.
And when Jon Snow comes to the Wall, he finds out that he thought that it was going to be mostly noblemen, but most of the people are criminals.
Yes.
He's like, why did my father never tell me this? Well, your father really wants you to go to the Night's Watch.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Or I mean father uncle, uncle father.
Yeah, so before we discuss Jon's new identity, I just want to know, where is the second baby? Where is the girl?
There is no second baby.
Oh, there could still be. We could have like the third flash. No.
Now we're going into crazy fan theories here.
Damn it.
I've also heard other misconceptions. Some people think that Jon Snow's father is Robert Baratheon. But then why would Robert kill...
Robert liked his bastards, right? He took care of them.
Yeah, he didn't kill his bastards, so that doesn't make any sense.
He was kind of proud of all his bastards.
Yeah, and some people think...
And especially Lyanna's bastard, he would be super proud of.
Yeah, absolutely, because he loved her. And some people was like, oh wait, Lyanna is his mother and Ned Stark is his father? Ooh, ew. But that's not what we're supposed to think.
Or that Benjen was the father, and that was why he took the black.
That's ew. Also,
I think we discuss Game of Thrones so much, and we have talked about this so much.
Yeah.
That we were not surprised. I think a lot of people were surprised at this. This was the great reveal of the season.
Yeah. So for us, we didn't get the nice surprise, but we got a nice confirmation. So I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, I'm also very happy, but I'm still sad that there were not 2 children.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Jon Snow's role here? He is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, the crown prince, the last crown prince of the Targaryen line.
The nephew of Daenerys.
Yeah, so Rhaegar was the older brother of Daenerys, so Jon is her nephew.
Jon is before her in the line of succession.
Yes, and Rhaegar was at the time married to
Elia
Martell, killed by the Mountain. So is then Jon born out of wedlock?
We don't know.
No, because Rhaegar was a Targaryen, and they like to have multiple wives. So he could have married Lyanna before this all happened, in secret.
That is possible.
And if he did, would then Jon be the legitimate heir to the Targaryen crown?
Yes.
So
better than Daenerys.
So Daenerys, if that is indeed the case, Daenerys should just bow to her brother,
but
her nephew.
She has dragons.
Yes, but maybe he has 2. Maybe the 2 dragons that are not as close to Daenerys. One of them will be
dragon fight.
How are you doing, Jon? Do you need a dragon?
Or 2.
Or maybe it's so cool he gets 2 dragons.
Yeah. So now Bran knows about this.
Yes.
Who else knows about this? Well, Ned Stark is dead. Lyanna is dead.
He is. Howland Reed is alive, though.
Yes. And also maybe those servants, unless Ned Stark killed them to keep the secret.
The servants should know.
I don't think Ned Stark killed them, but they could have died some other way.
Yes. Or be sworn to secrecy and keep it for some reason.
Die randomly in a wagon accident the next day or something.
So Bran's return to Winterfell will be very interesting.
Very important.
Yeah, because he is now the one who should be king in the north.
Yeah.
Because Bran is the one living son of Ned Stark.
Yeah, but
he has another job.
He has another job, yeah.
And he doesn't... you don't get the feeling that Bran wants to take over the north.
No, and I think that we have someone else lined up for that job.
Yep.
And we see that in the next meeting, in the next scene, the big meeting with Jon and Sansa and Tormund.
Yes.
Davos, Littlefinger, and Lord Royce, Manderly, Bolton. I mean, not Bolton, but Kerwin and Lady Mormont and Lord Glover.
Yeah, definitely no Boltons.
No
Umbers, no Karstarks.
Bolton.
And we don't know what happened to Lord Karstark.
I think he led the cavalry charge and was killed.
I think that was a very inglorious end for him. We had him appearing a lot in the beginning of the season. We got that pedophile joke about him. And he seemed to be a villain on the rise. And then he's just gone. Yeah,
they could have given him 10 seconds of fame or something.
So ordinary knowledge of how TV is made tells me that Lord Karstark still lives. But I don't see any reason for him to live in the story. So
maybe
was it just an oversight?
Maybe it had a nice... well, it could be an oversight, where is Ghost, for example?
Yeah, where is Ghost now? Ghost is going on an extended hunt.
I have no clue. But this scene was my favorite scene of this episode, and maybe the favorite scene ever. I don't know. It's very, very few scenes are better than this scene. I just cried when I watched it, and I cried again when I rewatched it.
I think they are so brave to put this on this young actress,
Lady Mormont.
Yeah, and she does it in such a fantastic way.
Yeah.
Just wow. Yeah, I was also very, very moved.
Yeah, how she berates Lord Manderly and Lord Glover and Lord
You refused to call.
Yeah, you refused to call. Lord Bolton skinned your father. You refused to call.
And yet, in their hour of greatest need, you refused to call.
But Jon Snow is the only man I need. I will follow him as king until the day he dies. We know no king, but the king in the north, whose name is Stark.
But I don't care if his name is Stark.
His name is Snow, though, but it's Stark blood. Yeah.
Yeah, the old King in the North scene was perhaps my favorite scene on the entire series.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing the fact that nobody who was there when Robb became king is here.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
They're all dead. But yeah, that scene, I love that scene also. Then it's Great John Umber who is the first person to call for King of the North. But,
because then the Umbers were good.
Yes, but here it's Lady Mormont, kind of the opposite of the Great John Umber.
1/10 his size.
Yeah, but both those scenes are just also the scene where Daenerys goes Dracarys for the first time and kills all the bastards of Astapor.
I do think this was as amazing as the first one, and
maybe more amazing.
I was screaming, "King in the North!
The King in the North!
King in the North!
The King in the North!"
Did you notice the non-Northerners and their reaction to this?
I think Bronze John Royce was standing up with the others.
Yeah, Davos was
standing up as well.
But Thormund was not.
Well, he's a Northerner, if anybody.
Yeah, but the wildlings did not. They did not scream for King of the North.
And Littlefinger looked concerned.
Yeah, he was definitely not screaming.
But he looked concerned, which means he's not concerned.
But the wildlings will bow to no king, so they don't. They like Jon, but and they will probably follow him, but they will not make him the king.
They will only be friends.
Of course, nobody cares what the wildling thinks at this point because they're decimated.
Yeah,
Jon cares, which is why he's maybe a good king.
Exactly. But so, like Edmure, for example, is also a guy who cares about his people.
Yeah,
and he's not optimal.
So, do you think Sansa like this?
I am done trying to predict what Sansa's going to do.
Yeah, I think...
I lost interest in that.
I actually gained some interest in this episode because I think now Sansa is all on the Jon train. And that it looks now like a quite attractive option to marry Littlefinger and sort of...
Well, compared to Lord Ramsay and Tyrion.
Yeah, and like Tyrion is probably nicer to be married to. But she could then watch out for the North's interest from King's Landing. So that makes perfect sense for the Stark continuation.
Okay.
But Bran will totally shake this up once he makes it to Winterfell, which will probably take like 10 minutes of the first episode if people keep moving this fast.
Yeah, but if everybody is chanting King in the North and then some other guy shows up, I think Jon still is King in the North.
Yeah, and I don't think Bran will usurp him. He will just tell Jon, and then Jon will be like,
you mean
I can't be King of the North.
So he's Jon Snow Starkarian.
Jon Snarkarian.
Snarkarian.
Yeah, so lots of interesting things coming there, but the North is united once again. Do you think the Lords are forgiven too easily? That was treason, wasn't it?
It was treason, but I think Glover had a good reason not to join in. And Manderley, I don't think they ever got to Manderley. He was too far away to be approached.
The Boltons named Manderleys. They counted on the Manderleys. But the Manderleys never showed up.
No, they were just sitting there.
They were like, we're coming. Gotta do this thing first. Then we're gonna show up for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go way south.
Yeah, I saw this in the opening sequence and I was like, it's Dorne! The city of Dorne appeared again.
The city of Dorne in Dorne.
Yes.
Or Sunspear, but they write Dorne instead.
Yes.
Too many names. They think there's too many names in this TV show, so they cut one off.
Is this the best scene in Dorne ever?
Yes.
Yes, quite clearly. And I think Lady Olenna here is playing the part of the fandom.
Yeah, yes. Very good point. It's like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
And then no sand snakes will speak.
Yeah. So Olenna is talking to Alara Sand, and the sand snakes must be quiet.
And they are really put down by Olenna. She is fantastic.
So is Alara Sand the ruler of Dorne now?
Yes, because in Dorne you can just take power. Because Dorne is just 7 people by that pool.
There's no other nobles in all of Dorne. I mean, she's not even related. She was not even married to Prince Oberyn. She was the paramour of Prince Oberyn. How could she inherit? If one of the Sand Snakes, say Obara Sand, inherits it, because at least she's blood related to Prince Oberyn.
Yes.
So that would make some kind of sense. But it looks like Elara Sand. That's just way off.
Yeah, and I think this is a product of what happened in last season, that people hated Dorne so much. They just decided to wrap up Dorne and simplify everything and do it this way. And I think because of this scene, it kind of worked.
Yeah. But we got to see Olenna put down the Sand Snakes. And then we got this, your harsh desire, vengeance, justice. And then Varys comes in and says, fire and blood.
Yeah, that's all he needed to say.
And they were looking for someone to follow, and he was looking for someone to follow Daenerys.
Yeah, it seemed like the obvious allies to Daenerys, and they didn't waste any time making them allies. And then the Tyrells are on board as well, so very nice.
Yeah. So then we go to Meereen.
Yes, we do.
So
maybe for the last time.
Yeah, Daenerys breaks up with Daenerys Harris and tells him to stay in Meereen to keep the order.
Greatest breakup scene ever. So much honesty.
Yeah, at least it's that. She didn't just text him.
Yeah, and if I have been dumped before, but if a girl dumped me saying that, okay, I will leave you, I will marry someone else, but you get these 4 enormous cities. You get to be the ruler in my
Volantis
place.
as well? Or?
I think so. She just controls the Bay of Dragons, and Volantis is probably like, we will not mess with you.
Volantis is not in the Bay of Dragons.
No, it's outside, but they were kind of involved.
I felt that he only got control of Meereen, but... maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right.
I mean, one of his jobs must be to keep slavery out of Astapor, and she put him in a pretty great position. I don't think he will stay.
No.
I also wonder how.
He will follow her.
Yeah, I think he will sneak after her. Okay. Or maybe this was the last we ever saw of him. But I think he will just get bored. I don't see him as the great administrator. How many troops did he get? Did he just get 2,000 second sons to control this huge area?
Yeah, but they killed all the Sons of the Harpy in that charge.
Yeah, they did. So he could maybe control Meereen with 2,000 Sons of the Harpy, but he would have a problem with Astapor and
2,000 is enough for a city watch, but you can't...
Maybe she left some other people as well.
Yeah.
But those would be Dothraki. That would be a problem. Here's 10,000 Dothraki who will hang around in the city. Good luck.
Maybe they can train former slaves to become soldiers.
Yeah, maybe that's his problem. But among her followers, I think he was the least suitable for being put in charge of Meereen.
No, I think it made a lot more sense because... Well, putting Grey Worm, for example, he's only a soldier.
That's true, but...
He's so much one-dimensional.
Yeah, I think Melisandre would probably do a better job. And, of course, Varys and Tyrion. She's
very intelligent, she's a very good translator, but still she has no management experience.
Do you think he does?
Daenerys Harris?
Yeah, he has a very, very easy time controlling the 2,000 second sons because we never see them. I don't think they exist. I think they left for Bravos like 2 seasons ago.
Well, I think that he's very intelligent. So is Melisandre, for example. But he's also, I think, he's more adaptable and has lots of street smarts.
Do you think we'll see him again?
No, I don't think so.
This is the end of his story. He just ends up like the ruler of Meereen who can have as many girlfriends as he likes.
But he starts as a gladiator, then he becomes the boss of a small band of soldiers, or maybe you could call it an army or bandits. And now he becomes king of Meereen. You realize who he is?
Yeah.
Conan.
Oh, yes, he is. So... when the White Walkers have destroyed all of Westeros, in the final shot of the final season, we'll see King Dario with a long line of women ruling Meereen, and he is the winner of the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's still sulking about Daenerys.
The best way is to not play the game at all, just sit over in Meereen.
Yeah, that's playing the game really well.
Yeah. So then we have this scene where Tyrion swears fealty to Daenerys.
There is always that guy when your girl dumps you. There's the guy who told her to do it.
Yeah.
And then he shows up. How did it go?
But I think he's friend-zoned, though.
Yeah, he's pretty friend-zoned.
Captain friend-zoned, Seriora, he's even more friend-zoned. But
yeah, so Tyrion doesn't even make an attempt.
But this is he tries to console her. That doesn't work, but he swears his fealty to her. That's great, and she makes him hand. This was really a feel-good scene when he falls on his knee. And
this was fantastic, and Peter Dinklage is great as always. But I also feel that Emilia Clarke is her best acting comes out when she talks to Peter Dinklage. So I love this scene so much. Hand of the Queen, very obvious choice, but
yeah, but not as powerful as the King of the North.
And the perfect guy to negotiate with Cersei.
Yeah,
about the surrender of King's Land.
So he can negotiate with her hand, who is
Qyburn.
Yes,
Qyburn was wearing the hand sign when he put the crown on her.
The hand sign, yeah. The hand signing. I thought that was the mountains thing, the hand signing, but
so many sort of epic endings in this episode,
yes.
But there was one even more epic.
We see the wind is turning there. We see the Greyjoy banner is blowing in one direction, and then it changes and blows another direction, and that's when the Armada set sails.
Is this when the Armada set sail?
I interpret it that way.
Because they are in the middle of the open ocean. We don't see any coast.
Yeah, I interpreted it as the beginning of the scene is they're setting sail, and then after a while we see the ships going out into the ocean.
Yeah. The fact that there were Tyrell ships and Martell ships.
You saw that from the sails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave me the impression that they are very close to Westeros in this scene.
So they have sent a fleet there to meet up with them.
Yeah, and the fact that Varys was on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
If not, he's teleporting. He has stolen Littlefinger's teleporting device.
Well, he traveled way right before Daenerys got back, and then Daenerys. Well, it takes a long time to organize the whole thing so that the Dothraki will go on the ships.
Yes,
and so
and the Dothraki looked very used to being on ships. They were like helping out on the ships.
Maybe they have been training.
Yes, so I got the impression that a lot of time has passed.
A lot of time has passed. Maybe enough time for Varys to go to Dorne and then go back again.
Yeah.
And it's so it's possible, but then it's been like a year or something.
But now we are breaking down this scene too much. We just need to rejoice in its epicness.
It could also be that that Daenerys had some of the people in Marine sew up sails that looked like Martell sails or Tyrell sails.
But the scene was so epic.
Yeah,
like you get to see everyone.
She's on the way to Westeros. We don't know where she is.
We have been longing for this for so long.
Yeah, she could be somewhere between Volantis and Marine, or between Volantis and Dorne. She could be already like just a little bit away from Dorne. Or
where do you think she's going? Where do you think she's landing?
I would think Dorne then.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I could also see like a direct sail into
King's Landing.
Yeah, into Blackwater Bay.
Yeah, why warn your enemies?
But that has proven to be quite an unsuccessful tactic earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of a risky thing. If you just charge head on into King's Landing, and if you fail to take it right away, you don't have any way to fall back.
Yes, and Cersei is so weak now, so that
how she's going to stand against this armada.
Yeah, this surprised me quite a bit, but we'll talk about that at the end, because we still have to dwell on this epic scene.
Yeah, you're right, it's absolutely epic, and like you said, we've been waiting for this for so long, and finally she's getting to move on.
I like to think that in the very first episode of the whole series, when I understood who she was, I was like, oh, I wonder what will happen when she gets back to Westeros.
Yeah.
And then 6 years went by. And now she's going there. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Very epic.
We also see that the Unsullied are totally useless on ship because they are stand around in formation.
They always stand in formation.
Whereas the Dothraki were actually working on the ships.
You know, they say that when more than 3 Swedes are at the same place, they stand in line. Unsullied stand in formation.
So Daenerys changed her garments as well into Targaryen colors. This is the first time we've seen her in this coloration.
What coloration was that?
She's black and red.
Black and red, fire and blood.
Yeah. And we see Melisandre looking great behind her. Yeah. And Varys there, and I was really surprised at Varys' presence, but we already talked about that. A lot of time has probably passed.
Yeah, but no, so they can't be the same person then?
No, that destroyed all of the stupid Varys theories we had. So.
Unless he has clones.
But I am happy to see all my theories burning if I get this kind of an epic episode.
Yeah. This was a really epic episode. It's been winding up for a while, but...
Yeah, I think I can forgive this season all of its faults with this kind of finale. It was so different from the usual season finales. I've liked a lot of the season finales, but they are so much setup. But this really felt like the mid-game was ending. And this... We wrapped up a lot, and now it's just the end game. And we'll do another episode with wrapping up this whole season, and we'll do more predictions, of course, for season 7. But we do have a lot of time to do that, because now we'll have to wait for an enormous amount of time.
Forever.
But before we do that, we have to discuss the war to come, because Cersei feels so outmatched here.
Yeah.
And... so I wasn't expecting Daenerys' return to Westeros to look this simple on paper. All she has to do is land, and then who will oppose her?
Yeah,
Walder Frey's dead, so we don't know who is controlling the Riverlands. Maybe Edmure has a shot now. Maybe Arya frees him.
Yeah,
and then he will probably not side with the Lannisters.
And then the Blackfish will regret having been killed.
Yeah.
He should have been okay with being captured then. But I don't think she will free Edmure. She just won't think about it. Or
so the Riverlands are in some kind of... There are other Frey sons, so somebody should take it over.
Well, but it does say, "Where are my sons?"
So are you saying that he only had 2 sons in the TV series?
In the books, he brags about having 21, I think. 21 true-born sons.
Yeah, didn't we see a lot of his sons in the original scene with Catelyn?
But there has been wars, so maybe he has lost a lot of sons. So maybe he only has 2 left, or now he has no.
Or maybe the Riverlands end up in the same political state as the Stormlands, that we know nothing about it.
Yeah.
We have Euron Greyjoy, who will probably oppose her. So he's like the number 1 person to ally with for Cersei.
And he's actually a man. Everybody else is all queens except him.
Yes.
Queen of Iron Islands, Queen of Fall.
There is a lot of women, and you could argue that all of Daenerys' factions are ruled by women. Then her own, the Iron Islanders.
Yeah, the Unsullied counts as women then? Or?
Oh, they just count as her soldiers. They are controlled by her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but not very... I mean, the Stormlands are up for grabs, but they could easily just let the Targaryens rule.
And then, of course, we have the North. But I think as soon as Jon and Daenerys meet, they will fall in love, is my prediction.
Daenerys will command Jon Snow to bend the knee because she wants to conquer the North. And he's like, well, you bend the knee because I'm king of you.
Yes, I am the last Targaryen.
So they both have to bend their knee.
So, and what do Targaryens do when they are related? They marry!
Yes. Incestuous marriage there then.
Yes, and not very close incest. His nephew is...
It's pretty close.
Yeah, but not for Targaryens.
It's too close for comfort.
So, then we have some random facts.
Random facts?
Yes. With the death of Mace Tyrell... he was the last remaining lord, remaining lord of the 7 kingdoms, of one of the kingdoms, alive since the start of the series. But now he died as well. We have passed the books now, right? Is there something that could still show up from the books? I
think there is something, maybe, perhaps, that could show up from the books.
Okay, don't tell me. Do you mean I can't read the books?
I'm not going to tell anybody not to read the books. But there's some stuff that I don't know if they're going to bring up later or if they have skipped it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff they have skipped.
And we know that they have skipped plenty of stuff that can't show up now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But there are some stuff that could come back. Like this season, for example, we had the Kingsmoot and we had the stuff in the Riverlands.
Yeah.
With River Run at least. And that stuff, I thought they were going to skip that stuff, and then they came back this season. So would you have been okay with me talking about the Kingsmoot before it happened?
No, you make a very good point. So we have no idea who rules the Stormlands. The house Baratheon is extinct, and now the Cadet house of House Baratheon of King's Landing, Robert's ruling house, is also extinct.
Yeah.
So we have no idea what's going on in the Stormlands. Who is now the heir to the Tyrells? Olenna is obviously controlling the Tyrells.
Yeah.
But she's just doing it because everybody's used to her doing it.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to find some cousin somewhere or something.
Yeah, they have to find a remote relative that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Or have we?
There
are Tyrells that are still alive.
Who is that?
The handmaidens.
Handmaidens.
Olenna had.
The ladies in waiting.
Yes. One of them told her, do you like this, Nana?
Oh, okay.
Implying that Olenna was her grandmother. So she was a cousin of some sort. And she is probably still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she was even named.
Yeah.
The character.
But this is a male-dominated world, so they're gonna need some guy also to follow. But
yeah, maybe she has a brother.
Maybe they will marry her off to someone who they think is big and strong.
Yeah. We have to talk about actor Dean Charles Chapman, the guy who played Tommen, because he now has the distinct honor of dying twice in the same TV series.
And what was his name the first time?
He was playing Martin Lannister.
Martin Lannister and Tommen Baratheon.
Yeah, and none of those worked out for him.
So next season he will be back as random guy number 3.
Random Tyrell cousin.
Random Dothraki something or other. Yeah, I don't think we will see that actor anymore.
Yeah. So those were my random facts this time. I can't stand waiting this long for the show to continue. But I'm...
So you're gonna do the Tommen way?
Yeah, I could. No, but...
you can't do that before you see the season ending.
I have come to terms with the fact that the next season is just 7 episodes. Because if they can make episodes like this, if they spend more time and money on one episode, I'm taking 7 episodes like this anytime before any season we have seen so far.
Well, just like I'm not going to get an apology. You just have to accept it.
Yes. So let's not drag this out further. We have now surpassed the length of the episode, which was the goal. So, but we'll try to do some mid-season episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And see you then.
Yeah, see you then.
Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of fucking Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. There are swords and things doing lightning tricks, and they'll take you out if you try to beat them. They'll kill you and stop you and make you Game of Thrones. Fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. In the lightning they come to take on everyone, and you know it's the Game of fucking Thrones. Fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of